Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you like my little candle background. I thought it was nice and like moody. I also have this card. It's like a stack of cards, and it has like different empowering phrases and stuff. So this one says, "It's amazing what we can do if we simply refuse to give up." Cute. Anyways, yeah. So sometimes I like switch them out. And it's like a nice little reminder on my dresser slash, this is like my altar. I call it my altar space. I don't actively pray to it, but a lot of spiritual YouTubers that I watch say it's important to have an altar so that when you're intention setting and things like that, you have like something physical that you can look to, if that makes sense. Tangent. Anyways, today I'm making a video because first of all, I just set up my ring light and I was really excited to use it. So yeah, I'm doing this pretty late, but I kind of just have made the decision to do this more and to be better at it and to be more vulnerable, because I think not only can that be helpful to maybe even literally one person somewhere, but also helpful to myself, because I feel like I can have issues being vulnerable in real life. So maybe if I start here, it'll make waves. This chair is spinny and I probably should stop spinning because it's probably really annoying, huh? Anyways, so yeah, I've kind of just made the decision to be more vulnerable in all aspects of my life, beginning here at 1 a.m. So yeah, the way you do anything is the way you do everything, my friends. Yeah, so I thought I'd make this video about something I've decided to do. I am going to start a 30-day self-love challenge. The reason why I decided to start this challenge is because since I'm going to be home for probably honestly 30 days, if not, and most likely longer, because of this whole quarantine situation. I'm living in a house and most of my roommates left. I have a lot of roommates, but most of them left to go home and be with their families during this time. I only have one other roommate who's staying with me, but for the most part, I'm spending a lot of time alone. The time you spend alone can either be super detrimental or super beneficial, I think. I think it's one or the other. I think it's never in between. Because you have the opportunity to either like go crazy out of your mind, or to find a true appreciation for yourself because you're the only one that's there for you right now. Yeah, so I've chosen the latter. The latter. I always get confused which one's the latter and which one is the former, but the latter I think means the last one you said, and the former is the one you said before that. Anyways, yeah, so I'm gonna take this time being alone to like really build the tools and take the time to build, you know, my self-love muscle, because I think it is a muscle. And I think like any other muscle, if you don't, first of all, train it properly and then continue to work on it, it will atrophy. It'll be freaking small. You know, the system is set up against us, blah, 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 we know this. We've been taught to not love ourselves our entire lives, but we've also been building skills and tools here and there to help us love ourselves one day, hopefully. So I'm gonna take this time to really like actually intentionally develop those tools and be working on myself, as opposed to just being numb during this time, because I think that's kind of what I've been doing so far, is I've been falling into a pattern of just like not really doing anything. Not to say that not doing anything is bad, like it's good to take, I personally just want to do everything intentionally. So if I'm doing nothing, it should be intentional. And I don't want to be accidentally like default not doing anything and just numb in my bed watching Netflix. I want it to be like I am taking a break, but it hasn't been that. And most of what I've been doing hasn't been intentional. It's just been default. I don't really know what to do. I feel like I'm floating. I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone. Like I literally don't know what day it is. I don't know what time it is. Half the time I'm taking naps in the middle of the day. Like it's going to hell, bro. And I bet a lot of people can relate. Yeah, I don't know. I just want to do something. So this is what I'm doing. So basically what I'm going to do is, this is going to be heavily rooted in journaling. I have a fresh journal a brand new journal that'll probably last me a couple years, but I'm gonna start with that and gonna start journaling how I'm feeling in the morning and at night. Once in the morning and once at night, because I find my mood changes so much. Obviously, everyone does. That's not a hot take, but to the point where it's like I wake up and I'm like, oh, I feel super good about myself. I think I'm gonna have a productive day, or I'm gonna have a fun day, la-di-da. I'm grateful for this, grateful for that. And then something happens a lot of the time during the day where a switch is flipped and I don't feel that way anymore. And it always happens and I kind of just let it go by, and then the cycle continues and whatever. But I think it'd be interesting to like intentionally document that switch and kind of try and dig deeper and figure out why, what are my triggers, what prevents me from loving and accepting myself the way that I know that I could and the way that I know that I deserve to be loved by myself. Yeah, because, you know, we all have like internalized stories that we tell ourselves that prevent us from getting where we want to be. And, the only way we can figure those out is by like actively paying attention to them and, you know, journaling and digging deeper when they do come up to kind of really try and sift through the BS to find what the true cause of it is, because it's never what we think it is. It's never what is on the top. It's not the surface level. It's like the deep, deep thing. And that takes time to figure out. And I have time now, so I'm gonna use it for something helpful. Yeah, so that's a really big part of what I'm gonna be doing during this challenge is journaling all of my emotions and my bigger reactions throughout the day as they come up, taking notice of them and documenting them, and then under that, unpacking why I reacted that way to something. Like even just recently, I've realized I have just like a complex where I feel like I need to over-explain myself in a defensive way, particularly in situations where it's not going anywhere. Like I can just leave it. Like it may never come up again, but I just feel the need to like always rectify situations and correct things and blah, 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 when it like really doesn't matter and it's not going to make a difference. And a lot of times the other person isn't listening. So that's something that is my ego trying to fix itself. But what it really does is actually hinders me more. So yeah, I'm working on that. The other big thing that I will be doing during this 30-day self-love situation is actually listening to my body and my mind, and whatever collaboration interaction of the two happens. Honestly, from a super young age, we are taught to, you know, this is your schedule. This is when you will eat. You will not eat when you are hungry. You will eat during the allotted time to eat. You will not learn when you want to. You will learn when you're at school. You know what I mean? We're taught to adhere to the schedule that maybe doesn't necessarily cater to us and our body's needs, because everybody's different and like everybody works differently. But I like, what's that experiment, like Pavlov's dogs or something, where they hear the bell and then they do something? That could be a super irrelevant reference, but what I mean by it is I feel like I'm just going through the motions and doing what I think I should be doing, as opposed to like actually listening to my stomach or my body tell me that I'm hungry. I'm like, oh, clock strikes noon, better eat lunch. You know what I mean? And just like not listening. I'm just not listening to myself. And your body is really smart and your body speaks really loudly. And I feel like we ignore it 99% of the time because that's what we're conditioned to do. Then things come up and our body rebels and reacts in negative ways. So it would be cool if I could kind of, you know, pay attention to that and try and just listen. The other really big thing that I'm gonna be working on a lot is being present in my body, because I think a big part of self-acceptance is being present and understanding that the body you have right now in this very moment is literally doing so much for me. I mean, it's cool to have goals, but to still be appreciative of what my body is now, because I've always struggled with that and always been so like future focused and like, oh, well, if I work out this much and I diet this way, then my body can look like this in 6 weeks or in 2 months or whatever the heck it is. And never just like being cool with who I am. And I've already come so far. So it's also, I think, important for me to like look back at how far I've come in the progress and be appreciative of that. But I think just being in the present more will kind of help take care of the self-doubt and lack of acceptance of my physical being, because I feel like you can't really hate yourself if you're fully in the moment and like really feeling the being. When I'm meditating and when I'm dancing and things like that, I there's no room in my head to dislike a part of my body, because my body is the full being, and like there's no separation between my life experience and my being and my body. Like it's just all encapsulated. Like you can't not love it, because it's all that there is in that moment, because you're so in it. You know what I mean? Or am I getting too airy fairy floaty? Whatever. I think you get it. Even though like social media is like kind of the only thing to do right now, trying to be on it less and be in my body more. I also like really want and really, really need to stop comparing myself to people on Instagram, which we knew, but it's just so hard to not compare myself to the people that I follow when they're doing so great and they're looking so good and la-di-da. And I mean, it's not a hot take. We all know Instagram is the highlight reel. People Photoshop, people edit, it's not whatever. But it doesn't matter. It still does the same thing in your brain. Like, it still makes you feel bad. So finding a way to navigate that in a way that is more of an appreciation than a comparison, and kind of a take what you need, take what can inspire you, don't take the self-doubt, and don't take it like an insult or like there's less space for you at the top, because that is not true. And I even think it's cool to have high expectations for myself, but to also have a high amount of understanding for myself. I feel like I'm really tough on myself sometimes. And I mean, I think we all are. I think by doing that, it kind of just puts stress and tension on the relationship between me and myself. Whereas I feel like if it was somebody else, I would be more compassionate. So that I think that's honestly a really big lesson that I'm trying to learn, is how to be compassionate and empathetic towards myself the way I am towards people that I love. Because I think we never really give ourselves the same grace that we would give somebody that we loved. Yeah, like it's okay to be human. And I think I never really got that. And I never really let myself have that. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm trying to learn during this little journey. I mean, I encourage you to partake in this journey with me. I think it will be great for anyone. Yeah, but I'm gonna keep documenting my progress and making updates on how that's going. And if I've learned anything, if I have any epiphanies, they will be written down and I will be able to share. So yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you very soon.